90.3 KRNU. That was Dirty Honey with California Dreamin' off of their self-titled LP, which drops tonight at midnight, which is going to be exciting. There are not words, again, that I cannot express how excited I am for that. Before that, it was Foo Fighters off of the newest record, Medicine at Midnight, and a little bit from Slash and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. And also, in between there, we had a new one from Greta Van Fleet called Trip the Light Fantastic off of their latest record, The Battle at Gardens Gate. And an interesting thing that I heard in an interview with Josh Kiska, the lead singer of Greta Van Fleet, he said that CDs are starting to become more popular. So I had to do a little internet research myself to see if this was actually the case, because I know vinyl has made a comeback. And I know digital streaming is still popular, but I had not heard that CDs were starting to make a comeback. And a blog that I found written in 2019, where the person did the math, said that if their calculations are correct, CDs will become popular in 2027, which is interesting. And something that's also cool about old things making a comeback, but this isn't old necessarily, but what's cool is a new song from the Struts featuring Paris Jackson. It's called Low Key in Love, and it is up next on 90.3 KRNU. 90.3 KRNU. My name is Grant, and that was Goodbye June with Oh No off of their first record, Magic Valley, and right before that, it was a new one from the Struts called Low Key in Love with Paris Jackson. Yes, the Paris Jackson. I'm amazed at her singing ability. Like, it's far different than her dad's, which is absolutely amazing. I cannot express how great it is that she does not necessarily sound like her dad. Anyway, new one from Greta Van Fleet, the newest one from Suspect 208, and one from Lincoln's own Freakabout, and Blues Pills kicks it off after the break on 90.3 KRNU. 90.3 KRNU. That was Tom Morello and Slash with the song Interstate 80. There was also Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders, Blues Pills, and one of the newest ones from Greta Van Fleet called Light My Love. Now, weather-wise, it is a crisp, cool, low 50s late spring night here, but the wind is whipping at 17 miles an hour, and I don't know about any of you, but to me it seems that it is not a Nebraska day if we don't have winds over 15 miles an hour. At this point, I think the state should change their slogan from Nebraska, the good life, to Nebraska, the good, because the wind is blowing the rest of the letters away. Now it's time for some Nebraska rock. And we're going to start it off with a band from Omaha and an Eagles cover from Evandale. It's Desperado on 90.3 KRNU. 90.3 KRNU. That was Lincoln's own Freakabout with Predator off the album Babe Zuka, which is actually a pretty good record. I listened to it the other day, and it's pretty solid. Before that, it was Carney's Wild Roses, and before that, it was Omaha's Evandale. Now, I don't know if any of you have noticed or heard anything about this concept of the Joshua fight. No, it's not Anthony Joshua, the boxer. Apparently, this guy on Facebook concocted this idea to message a large contingent of men with the same name and decided that they were going to fight over God only knows what. Apparently, this fight is supposed to happen Saturday, somewhere in Lincoln. So, I'm not very up to date with social media stuff, but it is just continuing to baffle me how weird that side of society has gotten. Anyway, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up after the break, including the new one from Suspect 208, ZZ Top, and the Pretty Reckless are going to get us started on 90.3 KRNU. Stick around. 90.3 KRNU. It's Grant, and that was Suspect 208 with their new single, You Got It. Right before that, it was Can't Stop the Bleeding from Tom Morello featuring Gary Clark Jr. and Grammatic, who I am not familiar with at all, but that song is fantastic. There's also the Pretty Reckless, and in there also, right before Tom Morello and in between the Pretty Reckless, was the song High Rise from the band called Zeta, and they're from New Orleans, and I was introduced to them by a friend of mine, and I really enjoy that song. I think it's really good. And now it's time for Rival Sons on 90.3 KRNU.